Hello, everyone in internet land. Welcome to City Park Jazz and the live stream that we are doing from the Oriental Theater here in Denver, Colorado. My name's Annie Booth, and this is the Annie Booth Big Band, and we're so honored and overjoyed to be here this evening performing some music for you all virtually. Of course, in lieu of being at City Park at the beautiful pavilion there, but we're still just as thrilled to get to make some music. So thank you for joining us tonight. We kicked things off with a piece of mine called Whimsy, and you heard from Paul McKee on the trombone. Give it up at your homes for Paul McKee on the trombone. You also heard from Alejandro Castaño back here on the drums. Yeah, and we're going to continue this set. We're going to be doing all original compositions and arrangements of mine. You're going to hear from virtually everyone in the band. And so thank you so much once again for joining us. We're going to continue with a piece of mine that I wrote for my dad for his a big birthday he celebrated a few years ago, and his birthday is November 1st. And this is a tune for him that I just simply called November. And you're going to hear from John Gunther on the tenor saxophone, as well as myself on the piano. So I hope you enjoy November. Thank you so much. We can hear you hooting and hollering all the way from your living rooms and possibly backyards. We hope you're hanging out outside so you can catch the true City Park jazz experience, maybe sitting on a blanket or a camping chair or something like that. Once again, that was John Gunther on the tenor saxophone. Beautiful, beautiful playing. We're going to continue with a piece I wrote on a gig. Patrick McDevitt back here on the bass and I have been playing at Elway's Steakhouse in Cherry Creek for about 3.5 years now. Taking a little break right now because of the world, but we'll be back soon enough. And I wrote this song just as a way for us to come up with a tune to start the night with. We were always like, what should we start with? What should we start playing? So I wrote this little blues. And the important thing that you need to know about this blues, first of all, the title is called Elway's Blues, named after the patron saint of our great city, Denver, Colorado, John Elway. And the thing you just need to keep in mind when you're hearing this song is that there's a little catchphrase, a little lick in there. I'm actually going to make Patrick play the little lick. Yeah, so that's it. And the lyrics that accompany that lick are back-to-back Super Bowl champs. So that's just something you have to keep in mind. You got to keep that spirit with you the whole time you're listening to it. You got to remember 98, 99, back-to-back Super Bowl champs. And you're going to hear that little lick a lot throughout this. You're also going to hear some amazing solos by a number of people in this band. Allison Adjemi on the baritone saxophone. You're going to hear from Sarah Height on the trumpet. Patrick McDevitt himself in Elway's All-Star on the bass. And myself on the piano. And a little bit of Tim Wendell on the guitar as well. So hope you enjoy back-to-back Super Bowl champs, Elway's Blues. Thank you so much. And the crowd goes wild. I forgot a very important person on that one. I forgot to mention Greg Gisbert on the trumpet. That you also heard from Greg Gisbert on the trumpet. That one, that was Elway's Blues. Hopefully you have that lick stuck in your head, back-to-back Super Bowl champs. And if you're a musician, you can feel free to steal that lick and play it whenever you'd like. Highly encouraged. We're going to continue now. We're going to let the ensemble kind of take a little break here for a second, and we're going to feature Miss Jenna McLean, which you heard a little bit of her singing on November, some beautiful vocalese. We're going to feature her in this next one. This is a composition of mine I wrote a few years ago. The inspiration behind this one was I read a really beautiful quote on a piece of stationery just at a store here in Denver, and the quote was, "To love and be loved is to feel the sun from both sides." And I thought that was a super beautiful proverb, and I went home that afternoon and wrote this song inspired by that. And it was one of those pieces that I know my fellow musicians and fellow composers can relate to this, that it just kind of flowed out of me, and I kind of almost didn't intellectualize it, kind of didn't think too hard about it, didn't edit it, just kind of went with the flow, and this is what came out. And then about a year ago or so, a good friend of mine in LA, she's a wonderful singer-songwriter, also sings jazz. She wrote some lyrics to it. We did some gigs here in Denver and performed this. And her name's Joanna Wallfish. Check out her music. She's a wonderful musician. And so she wrote some lyrics to it, and we're going to feature the trio. That's Alejandro Castaño on the drums. That's Patrick McDevitt on the bass, and we're going to feature Jenna McLean on vocals. So I hope you enjoy Both Sides of the Sun.
In her arms, in her eyes, she bathes the world in endless light. She wants for naught but to be loved. In the dark, in the night, the moon smiles across the stars, his face aglow, kissed by both sides of the sun. We look inside ourselves. There is a universe of endless love, shining down on you, the trees, the ocean blue, and me, the flowers, the morning dew. We dance under both sides of the sun. In her arms, in her eyes, she bathes the world in endless light. She wants for naught but to be loved. In the dark, in the night, the moon smiles across the stars, his face aglow, kissed by both sides of the sun. is a universe of endless love, shining down on you, the trees, the ocean blue, and me, the flowers, the morning dew. We dance under both sides of the sun. In the dark, in her eyes, she bathes the world in endless light. She wants for naught but to be loved. In the dark, in the night, the moon smiles across the stars, his face aglow, kissed by both sides of the sun.
Great. We are going to continue with a piece I wrote in honor of a park. So we're doing City Park Jazz, City Park is one of my favorite parks in Denver, but I have to say it's probably my second favorite, only because I wrote a song about my favorite park. So that one takes the cake. This is a song I wrote about Cheeseman Park. I used to live right next to Cheeseman Park, and I used to go running there almost every day or do something there every day, and I got the idea for this piece. The fanfare of this piece, which is called Park Fanfare, with a prologue in front of it, Prologue Park Fanfare. Got the idea while I was on a run, and the idea of this piece, you're going to hear many diverse little sections, kind of go on a musical journey through some different styles, some different feelings, and it's meant to represent kind of the way that a physical space, such as being out in nature, all the different meanings that it can have to us. So whether that's inspiring joy, inspiring intense thought, reflection, solace, all those type of emotions that specifically for me, Cheeseman Park brings, and it's still a place that I kind of seek out as a place of almost, mental refuge and a place for creative inspiration as well. So we're going to feature, Camila Vititis is going to be jumping in here on the piano, and we're going to feature a number of folks, Tim Wendell on the guitar, Darren Kramer on the trombone, David Burnett on the tenor saxophone, Jenna McLean on the vocals, and Sonia Walker on the trumpet. Hopefully I got everyone that time. So I hope you enjoy Prologue Park Fanfare. Thank you so much. That was called Prologue Park Fanfare. We are going to continue with the only non-original piece of this set, but this is one of my favorite pieces, one of my favorite, I guess you could consider this a jazz standard, even though it was written in the 1960s. This song won an Oscar for Best Song in a Motion Picture the year it came out in 1961, so maybe that can jog some trivia going on in your brain at home, thinking about what song that might be. Like I said, it was in a movie, a very, very famous movie, and if you've seen this movie, it gets played over and over again in the movie, almost a little bit ad nauseum, if I'm being honest. But I love this song in any case. This is my version of Henry Mancini's Moon River, lyrics by Johnny Mercer. And I was doing a little bit of research when I was arranging this piece, and I found that Johnny Mercer, he wrote the lyrics to the song. Henry Mancini handed it to him. He wrote the lyrics to it in like a half an hour flat or something like that, and he originally called it Blue River, but there's there's quite few other songs named Blue River already, so we just changed blue to something that kind of rhymed with blue moon. But there's something about these lyrics that I really think is beautiful, and I tried to kind of put my own twist on it. We're going to feature Jenna McLean on this one, as well as a really beautiful soprano solo. I know it's going to be beautiful because I've heard him play it so beautifully by Will Swindler on the soprano saxophone. So hope you enjoy Henry Mancini's Moon River.
Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. A dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're both after the same rainbows and waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Blue River and me. same rainbows and waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and
And the crowd goes wild. We can literally hear you through the internet right now. So thank you so much. Thanks so much for tuning in. Once again, if you're just joining us, my name's Annie Booth. This is the Annie Booth Big Band. And I feel like I ought to introduce all of these amazing musicians. You probably have seen them playing before if you're a jazz fan, for sure. In the saxophone section, we have John Gunther, Anisha Rush. That's Will Swindler, who you just heard from on the soprano saxophone. That's David Burnett, and that's Allison Ajami. In the trombones, we have Paul McKee. Playing lead trombone tonight, we have Darren Kramer, Anna Pinella, and on bass bone over there, that's Brian Powell. Woo! Back there in the trumpet section, we have Sarah Height. We have playing lead Greg Gisbert. We have Gabriel Mervine and Sonia Walker. And then my compatriots over here in the rhythm section, that's Tim Wendell on the guitar. I'm totally blocking him. That's Camila Vititis on the piano, who you're gonna hear from her on this next one. That's Alejandro Castaño on the drums, and Patrick McDevitt on the bass, and you just heard from Jenna McLean on vocals as well. Thank you so much to City Park Jazz, the board of City Park Jazz, and specifically Andy Burkaw, who worked really hard to book this concert series, and just on a flip of a switch just became really flexible and refigured everything. We were so grateful for the chance to get to perform anyhow, and I know for some of us this was kind of the first gig in a long time. I know horn players, this is just amazing to get to create music together and get to share it with you. And also special thanks to Colin Bricker and his crew at Mighty Fine Productions for doing this amazing sound. They are totally inspirational, and their flexibility and their creativity is just so appreciated. So we really think these are, these are Denver institutions. City Park Jazz is a Denver institution. Mighty Fine Productions is a Denver institution. The Oriental Theater, where we are doing this from, is also a Denver institution. So I just feel really grateful to get to be a part of this. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And be sure to check out all these other live streams that are happening throughout the summer. There's some really awesome bands, a lot of diverse styles, and I'm personally looking forward to it. So thanks again. We're gonna leave you with one last composition. This is a song I started writing. I wrote this bass line. You're gonna hear this funky bass line. You're gonna hear Brian play it, and Allison play it, and Camila play it, and Patrick. And I wrote this bass line when I was working on cruise ships a number of years ago, and I found it in a notebook several years later that I just wrote this 8-bar bass line and some chords, and then I decided I should put a melody to it and kind of develop it and turn it into a big band chart in Technicolor. So I decided to dedicate this after a place that I went to nearly every week when I was working on cruise ships at that time in the Southern Caribbean on the island of Antigua. Maybe some of you at home have been there. If you have, you should drop me a line because I'd love to chat about it. I haven't found anyone yet who's been there. But it's called Jolly Beach. It's an amazing beach, and my friends and I would always just, the second our ship kind of docked and we could get off the boat, ran towards Jolly Beach and hung out there all day. So you're already at home chilling, hopefully with friends, and hopefully you have a cold, delicious drink in your hand. So that's kind of the vibe on this one, is to just imagine you're at the beach. So without further ado, Jolly Beach. We're going to hear from Anisha Rush on alto saxophone, Gabriel Mervine on the trumpet, Camila Vititis on the piano, and Alejandro Castaño on the drums. Thank you so much, City Park Jazz. Thank you so much. That was Jolly Beach. That was Anisha Rush, Gabriel Mervine, Camila Vititis. That was Alejandro Castaño. On behalf of this entire band, yeah, get up and take a bow, everyone. It's what the people want. They're at home. They want to take a bow. They want us to take a bow. Thank you so much. Thanks, City Park Jazz. Thanks, the Oriental Theater, Mighty Fine Productions. We really appreciate you at home tuning in. If you want to learn more about me and more about this band, we hope you can check out annieboothmusic.com. Get on our email list, and you'll know whenever we're doing something again soon. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we hope to connect with you sometime soon. Thank you so much.